Thank you for choosing Wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. Can a single garlic bulb, something you see every day in your kitchen, truly change the course of your life? Imagine walking into your home after a long day, placing one humble garlic bulb in a particular corner, and within a week, money begins to flow more freely, obstacles at work suddenly ease, and the heaviness that once clung to your family starts to lift. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Yet for centuries, across cultures and religions, people have whispered about garlic not just as food, but as a guardian spirit and a hidden magnet for wealth. In Buddhist thought, the smallest acts often carry the deepest karmic weight. A single step toward mindfulness can shift an entire lifetime. In Feng Shui, balance is not achieved through grand gestures but through subtle harmonies. An object moved here, a doorway opened there. Garlic, with its fiery yang energy and sharp fragrance, has long been seen as one of these subtle harmonies, a bridge between the visible and invisible, the material and the spiritual. But let's be clear, this is not about superstition or blind faith. Modern science confirms that garlic has antibacterial properties, regulates energy in the body, and even influences mood and rest. So what happens when we combine ancient wisdom with scientific understanding? We find that garlic is not a magical wand, but a catalyst, something that awakens the energy already present within and around us. In today's video, we will explore 6 time-honored ways to use garlic in your home and daily life, each practice designed to clear away negativity and open the channels for prosperity to flow. From placing garlic beneath your pillow for peaceful rest, to carrying it into spaces heavy with sorrow, to arranging it on your altar or in your safe, these practices may appear simple, but they carry a 1,000-year legacy of protection and abundance. Stay with me until the very end, because beyond the rituals themselves lies a deeper teaching, one that connects garlic not only to your wealth, but to your peace of mind, your relationships, and even your spiritual growth. By the close of this journey, you may never look at a garlic bulb the same way again. The ancient legacy of garlic. Garlic is not just a spice tucked away in kitchen cupboards, it is one of the oldest spiritual tools known to humankind. Across civilizations, this humble bulb was treasured not only for its flavor but also for its invisible power to guard, protect, and attract fortune. What's fascinating is that cultures separated by oceans, Egypt, Greece, China, India, arrived at remarkably similar beliefs about garlic's role in safeguarding life and enhancing prosperity. In ancient Egypt, garlic was placed in the tombs of pharaohs, believed to strengthen the soul's journey through the afterlife. For Greek athletes, it was consumed before competitions as a symbol of courage and vitality. Roman soldiers carried garlic into battle, not because they feared spirits, but because they believed its pungent force infused them with strength and kept misfortune away. The bulb, in many ways, became a universal emblem of resilience. Eastern traditions also highlight garlic's spiritual role. In rural China, it was often used in rituals to protect families when moving into a new home. In Southeast Asia, cloves of garlic were hung above doors or burned during lunar festivals to drive away wandering spirits. What connects these practices is not blind superstition, but a recognition of garlic as a tangible reminder that protection often comes from the simplest, most ordinary things. From a Buddhist perspective, garlic symbolizes upaya, or skillful means, the idea that small, practical actions can become tools for inner transformation. Just as a monk might use a mala bead to focus the mind, ordinary people used garlic to anchor their faith and courage in uncertain times. It was less about the object itself and more about what it inspired: mindfulness, reassurance, and a sense of control over invisible forces. The true legacy of garlic lies in this union of practicality and spirituality. It nourished bodies, healed sickness, and at the same time provided emotional and spiritual comfort. To see a garlic bulb in ancient households was to see a quiet guardian standing at the threshold between safety and chaos. And it is precisely this timeless heritage that makes garlic rituals feel relevant even in today's world, because protection, prosperity, and peace are needs that never go out of date. The energy behind garlic. Why does garlic hold such power across cultures and centuries? The answer lies in its unique energy signature. In Feng Shui, garlic is seen as the embodiment of strong yang energy, hot, dry, and pungent. Anything with such qualities naturally pushes back yin forces, which are linked to heaviness, stagnation, and misfortune. The moment you cut a garlic clove, its sharp fragrance fills the air, breaking through stillness the way a ray of sunlight cuts through fog. But this is not only symbolic. Modern science offers an explanation. Garlic releases a compound called allicin, which has antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal effects. It cleanses not just the air in a room, but also our inner environment. Think about it. Ancient people didn't have laboratories, yet they observed that those who consumed or used garlic seemed healthier, more energetic, less prone to illness, and even more resilient in spirit. What they interpreted as warding off evil was, in many ways, garlic's natural cleansing power at work. From a psychological perspective, garlic also functions as a sensory anchor. Its strong scent cannot be ignored. When placed in a space, it commands awareness, reminding us to be alert and mindful. In Buddhism, mindfulness is the key to liberation, staying present with what is, not being carried away by fear or distraction. Garlic's energy, then, is like a natural mindfulness bell. It wakes us up, clears the haze, and makes us feel more centered. Here is where the beauty lies. Garlic is both practical and spiritual. It balances the energies of a home, reduces hidden threats like bacteria or pests, and at the same time strengthens the subtle field of awareness that surrounds us. Some traditions say that garlic doesn't banish demons in a mystical sense, it simply raises the vibration of the environment so that lower energies cannot linger. Like a room filled with fresh air where shadows naturally disappear, garlic transforms heaviness into clarity. So when we place garlic in a safe, a kitchen, or even under a pillow, we are not only honoring ancient wisdom, we are creating a living space where both body and spirit can breathe freely. And in that clarity, the flow of wealth, health, and peace becomes far more natural. Ritual 1. Garlic under the pillow. Sleep is the most intimate part of our daily life. It is the moment when we surrender control, let our defenses down, and enter the mysterious world of dreams. In Feng Shui, this very vulnerability is why the bedroom is considered the most sensitive space in the home. If negative energy lingers here, it seeps directly into our body and spirit. This is where a simple garlic bulb takes on unexpected significance. The ancients believed that garlic, with its fiery yang essence, could act as a silent guardian through the night. Its pungent scent and warming energy create a protective field, repelling in influences that might otherwise disturb our rest. People who woke often with nightmares, unexplained heaviness, or even a sense of being watched found relief by placing a clove or a whole bulb beneath their pillow. What may sound quaint is, in fact, a practice rooted in centuries of observation. Modern science provides intriguing support. Garlic emits allicin, a natural compound with antibacterial and antifungal properties. Beyond physical health, Studies show that certain scents, strong and grounding, can influence the nervous system, helping regulate stress and calm overactive thought patterns. In other words, garlic is not just pushing away unseen forces, it is creating a microenvironment that allows the body to rest more deeply and peacefully. Let me share a story. A young entrepreneur I once advised had been struggling with insomnia during a turbulent period in his business. Financial pressure, late-night worries, and constant overthinking left him drained. At my suggestion, he placed a small garlic bulb under his pillow for 3 nights. The first night, he reported the scent was distracting. But by the second, he felt strangely comforted, as if the heaviness around him had lessened. By the third night, he slept more soundly than he had in months. He later said, "It wasn't the garlic alone that helped, it was the reminder that I could reset my energy with something so simple." His renewed clarity brought fresh ideas that turned his business around. The lesson here is powerful. Rest is not a luxury, it is the foundation of prosperity. A mind clouded by fatigue cannot make wise decisions. By placing garlic under your pillow, you invite protection for your energy field and create conditions for clarity to return. In Buddhist terms, it is like clearing the dust off a mirror. Only when the mirror is clean can it reflect light. And only when you sleep peacefully can you awaken to opportunity. Ritual 2. Carry garlic to heavy places. Not all places we enter are equal in energy. Some spaces feel light and invigorating, while others weigh heavily on the spirit. Cemeteries, hospitals, abandoned houses, or places marked by tragedy often carry an invisible residue of sorrow and fear. In Feng Shui, these are described as environments saturated with yin energy, cold, stagnant, and draining. When we step into such spaces without protection, our own energy field can easily become unsettled. This is why for centuries people carried garlic with them when entering areas associated with death, illness, or misfortune. Its strong yang quality creates a natural shield, like carrying a small torch into the dark. The bulb's pungent odor was believed to confuse wandering spirits, while its fiery essence repelled stagnant forces. For ordinary people who lacked amulets or elaborate rituals, garlic was the simplest, most accessible guardian they could trust. Modern understanding adds another layer. Environments such as hospitals are not only filled with emotional heaviness but also physical risks, bacteria, viruses, and stress. Garlic's natural antimicrobial properties symbolically mirror this role, protecting both body and spirit in environments where vulnerability is high. Carrying garlic, then, is less about superstition and more about maintaining balance when external conditions challenge us. Let me share a real-life story. A young doctor I once spoke with worked night shifts in an overcrowded emergency ward. She often left her shift exhausted, describing a strange heaviness she couldn't shake, as though she had absorbed the fear and pain of her patients. At her grandmother's urging, she began carrying a small pouch of garlic cloves wrapped in red cloth during her shifts. At first, she laughed at the idea. But over time she noticed a difference. Her headaches were less frequent, her mood steadier, and even her sense of being drained after work diminished. She admitted the garlic may not have magically changed her environment, but it reminded her to remain grounded and mindful amidst chaos. That, in itself, became a powerful form of protection. From a Buddhist perspective, this practice can be seen as a reminder of mindfulness in difficult environments. Just as monks visualize protective spheres of compassion when entering places of suffering, carrying garlic is a way of saying, I am aware, I am centered, I will not let fear consume me. So whether you are visiting a hospital, walking through a deserted street at night, or attending a funeral, carrying garlic is more than a folk trick. It is a tangible act of self-care, a way of affirming your inner strength against external heaviness. Ritual 3. Garlic on the wealth altar. In many Eastern traditions, the altar of the god of wealth is more than just a sacred corner of the home. It is the energetic gateway that governs prosperity. People light incense, offer fruits, and keep the altar spotless to ensure that financial blessings flow without obstruction. Yet one of the simplest and most enduring practices is the placement of garlic bulbs upon this sacred space. Why garlic? Symbolically, garlic's fiery yang energy acts as a purifier, ensuring no dark or stagnant forces can linger near the altar. But there is also a deeper layer of meaning. When 5 garlic bulbs are placed on the altar, they correspond to the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Balance among these elements creates harmony in the household, and harmony is the true foundation of wealth. Just as a tree cannot flourish without all parts of its ecosystem, financial luck cannot flourish without balance in our environment. I once met a small shop owner who had struggled through an economic downturn. Customers dwindled, and her spirits sank. On the advice of her elderly father, she placed 5 fresh garlic bulbs on her wealth altar, arranged neatly around her incense holder. She did not expect miracles, but she noticed that within weeks her shop atmosphere felt lighter. She felt calmer when opening her business each morning, and gradually her loyal customers began returning. Was it magic? Perhaps not in a literal sense. But the ritual gave her a renewed sense of order, and with that came confidence. Confidence, in turn, attracted opportunities back into her life. From a Buddhist perspective, this is a form of upaya, or skillful means. The garlic itself may not hold supernatural power, but the act of arranging it with mindful intention shifts the practitioner's energy. The altar becomes not only a symbol of wealth but also a reflection of inner clarity. To place garlic there is to say, I commit to protecting the balance that nourishes abundance. This ritual is a reminder that prosperity is not just about money, it is about alignment. When the altar is clean, the 5 elements are balanced, and protective garlic is present, we create a living environment where wealth, health, and peace are more likely to take root and endure. Ritual 4. Garlic in the kitchen. The kitchen is more than a place for preparing meals, it is the true heart of the home. In Feng Shui, it represents nourishment, vitality, and the flow of abundance. A well-kept kitchen ensures that the family not only eats well but also thrives energetically. When the kitchen falls into disorder, however, prosperity can slowly leak away. This is why garlic, with its protective and balancing qualities, is often placed here. Garlic is considered a natural harmonizer. In the kitchen, the 2 dominant elements, fire from the stove and water from the sink, can easily clash. Fire symbolizes activity, creativity, and transformation, while water represents calm, flow, and adaptability. If their energies collide unchecked, the result can be tension, quarrels, or financial instability. Garlic, with its pungent yang energy, serves as a mediator, absorbing stagnant yin and strengthening the balance between fire and water. A family I once counseled struggled with constant arguments. They had no major financial troubles, yet their home felt tense and unsettled. During a house visit, I noticed their kitchen was cluttered, with the stove and sink placed directly opposite one another. I suggested a simple change: clean the space and hang a small bundle of dried garlic near the rice container. Within weeks, the atmosphere shifted. The parents reported fewer conflicts, mealtimes became more joyful, and even their teenage son, once withdrawn, began spending more time with the family around the dining table. The garlic did not magically solve their issues, it acted as a symbolic anchor for a healthier, more mindful routine. From a Buddhist lens, the kitchen represents compassion. Every meal cooked is an offering of care to oneself and others. When garlic is placed here, it does more than guard wealth, It protects the energy of kindness that flows from food. It becomes a reminder that abundance is not measured by what we own, but by how well we nourish each other. Practically speaking, the ritual is simple. Hang a cluster of dried garlic in a visible but safe corner, or place bulbs in a basket near staples like rice and salt. Replace them every few months as they dry out or lose fragrance. Each replacement is an opportunity to renew your intention of keeping the family's heart space clean, warm, and harmonious. In this way, garlic in the kitchen is not just a folk belief, it is a living practice that turns daily cooking into a quiet ritual of prosperity and peace. Ritual 5. Garlic in the safe or money cabinet. Every household has a place where its wealth is stored, a safe, a drawer, a small locked cabinet where money, documents, and valuables are kept. In Feng Shui, this spot is more than a physical container, it is the symbolic heart of the family's financial energy. If this heart is weakened by stagnant or negative forces, money seems to disappear as quickly as it arrives. This is why one of the oldest folk practices is to place a bulb of garlic inside. Garlic, with its fiery yang essence, acts as a natural purifier. Dark, enclosed spaces like safes or cabinets often accumulate yin energy. Left unchecked, that heaviness may manifest as constant financial stress, sudden expenses, or the frustrating feeling of working hard without progress. A simple garlic bulb absorbs this negativity, restoring vitality to the space where wealth gathers. It is as though you are planting a tiny guardian inside your safe, silent, invisible, but ever watchful. Consider the story of a middle-aged trader who faced repeated losses. He confessed that although he earned well, he could never seem to hold on to money. Following advice from his teacher, he placed a clean, dried garlic bulb wrapped in red cloth in the corner of his safe. Red, being the color of vitality and protection, amplified the garlic's energy. 3 months later, he reported a noticeable shift. Not only had his business stabilized, but his own attitude toward money had grown calmer and more disciplined. He no longer felt the same desperation when facing challenges, and this new steadiness attracted better financial opportunities. From a Buddhist perspective, this ritual can be seen as a reminder of mindful stewardship. Wealth itself is neutral. What matters is the energy with which we hold it. The garlic in the safe becomes a symbol of clarity and protection, reminding us to handle money with awareness rather than fear. Just as monks care for their alms bowls with reverence, we too are called to respect the vessel of our resources. Practicing this ritual is simple. Select a firm, dry bulb free from mold, wrap it in a red cloth, and place it gently in your safe or cabinet. Replace it every 3 months or during significant lunar dates, returning the old garlic to the earth. In doing so, you refresh not only the energy of your safe but also your own mindset toward abundance. Ritual 6. Hanging 81 garlic cloves at the front door. The front door is not just a physical entryway, it is the mouth of energy, the place where fortune, opportunity, and unseen influences flow into the home. If this gateway is unprotected, negative vibrations can enter freely, disturbing harmony and draining prosperity. For centuries, households across Asia have used a powerful yet simple safeguard. Hanging 81 garlic cloves, tied together with red string, at the entrance. Why 81? In both Feng Shui and Buddhist numerology, 9 is considered the number of completeness and strength. Multiplying 9 by itself, 9 times 9, creates 81, a number representing the peak of yang energy. It symbolizes fullness, protection, and the ability to ward off harmful forces from every direction. When 81 garlic cloves are bound with red string, 2 energies combine, the fiery vitality of garlic and the auspicious power of red, forming a shield against misfortune. One monastery in Nepal still follows this practice during festival season. Monks string garlic at the entrance gates, believing it keeps the temple pure for pilgrims who arrive from faraway places. Visitors often remark on the light, peaceful feeling as they step inside, a subtle reassurance that the space is safe and spiritually guarded. On a more personal level, I recall a family who had been plagued by constant quarrels and financial setbacks after moving into a new house. Their grandmother insisted on reviving an old custom. She carefully strung 81 cloves of garlic, hung them above the door, and lit incense prayers of protection. Within weeks, the atmosphere shifted. Arguments lessened, unexpected bills stopped arriving, and a sense of calm returned to their household. Whether one attributes this to energy or psychology, the change was undeniable. From a Buddhist perspective, this ritual mirrors the idea of setting boundaries for the mind. Just as we protect the threshold of our home, we must also guard the threshold of our consciousness, choosing what thoughts we allow in and what we reject. Garlic at the door becomes both a physical talisman and a symbolic reminder. Prosperity begins when we keep negativity outside. Practically, the ritual is simple. Create the strand with 81 firm garlic cloves, tie them securely with red string, and hang them above or beside the main door. Replace every 3 months, returning the old garlic to the earth. Each renewal is both a cleansing of the home and a reaffirmation of your intention to welcome only light, peace, and fortune. Beyond ritual, what garlic teaches us in conclusion? When we look at these 6 rituals together, it becomes clear that garlic is more than just a household spice. It is a living metaphor for the truth that even the smallest, simplest things can shape the course of our lives. Whether under a pillow, in a safe, or strung at the doorway, garlic teaches us that protection and prosperity do not always come from expensive objects or complicated ceremonies. They often begin with intention, awareness, and humility. From a Buddhist lens, garlic symbolizes mindful guardianship. Just as garlic absorbs negativity in a home, mindfulness absorbs confusion in the mind. Just as garlic balances fire and water in a kitchen, wisdom balances desire and fear in our lives. Each ritual is, in fact, a mirror. The garlic outside reflects the clarity we must cultivate inside. I recall one elderly woman who once told me, "Garlic is just an excuse." The real change came when I believed my home could be safe and abundant. She was right. The clove itself may dry, shrink, and lose fragrance, but the intention placed upon it, the faith, the mindfulness, the commitment to harmony, becomes a seed that grows quietly within us. So what is the deeper lesson here? Wealth is not only measured by money. True abundance is found in calm rest, in families who eat joyfully together, in the sense of protection that allows us to face life without fear. Garlic is simply a tool that awakens these truths. It reminds us that prosperity is not something we chase. It is something we cultivate by aligning our environment, our mind, and our heart. As you consider trying one of these practices, placing a clove in your kitchen, your safe, or your doorway, remember that you are not merely arranging garlic. You are setting an intention to welcome peace, to guard your energy, and to allow abundance to flow naturally. If you found this wisdom meaningful, let this be your affirmation today. I live in a space of light, protection, and endless abundance. Leave your affirmation in the comments, subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma, and join our community of seekers. Who knows? Perhaps starting with one small garlic bulb, a powerful shift in your destiny has already begun.